Welcome folks to my review of the Blackstar HT20 MKIII. I have not been acquainted with Mark I or Mark II. This is my first foray into the HT20 amps. Apparently there's a new, maybe a 10 and also a 5 or a 1, whatever. The whole HT line has been revamped now that the Venue line has been revamped. And they are related to the Venue line, or Stage line, I don't know, Stage, Venue Stage, something like that. I recently reviewed the Stage 100, and for around $1,000, maybe 1,100 or whatever, it's by far the most recommended amp that I can think of right now if you're looking for a 100-watt head. Absolutely amazing, and this has a lot of its DNA, but it also has some things where you go, oh man. So there's definitely pros and cons for this puppy, which we're going to cover in this video. But before we do, we're going to take it out of the box. I obviously already did, but join me. Well, wasn't that fun? And I'm going to talk about controls. I'm going to tell you things about this amp, which might bore you because you're not actually in the market buying it. You just wanted to freaking hear it. And you might want to comment, get to the freaking point, we want to hear the amp. How about I show it to you and you get to hear it in some nice slidey shots. Let's do that. Okay, now I'm going to tell you things about it, then we're going to hear it in a song, and then we're going to hear it in the room. So, it is a 20-watt tube amp. I cannot tell you what the power amp tubes are because A, I don't care. I recently really just did some tests and it really shouldn't and doesn't matter enough for you to go nuts about it. It can be switched to 2-watt mode, which doesn't necessarily really make it a bedroom amp, but it's nice to have it right over here. 2-watt mode switch. Now the top control panel, we have a clean channel with a voice switch, so it's a clean and then kind of a mid-pushed clean, little bit more gain, and it only has a tone control for EQ. We then have a drive channel with another voice and gain and volume. Clean does not have volume, and we're going to get into why that is bad. So the volume is also the gain, and that's not great. So that is using this EQ 3-band and then the ISF knob, which is technically giving you American and British, but see it as another kind of EQ shaper. Decent reverb in here, and then a master, which of course, if you go down to 2-watt, you want to crank up a bit more, but we're running it in 20. Now the question is it loud enough for gigs? I cranked it up to about half and it was loud. Can you gig or rehearse with it? I'm going to say yes. So, in the back, which is pointless to put a camera on it, usually we do, because all that stuff is underneath. So you don't plug in things from the back, you have to plug in things from underneath, and there's a description in the back of what you find underneath, but boy is it annoying. Everything you do in the back, which is power, effects loop level, the XLR out for the cab rig, the 1/4 inch for the cab rig, the switch for the cab rig, the mains power, the USB-C, the little plug for aux input or line in, It all requires you to either feel and fiddle or lie on the floor and look. I understand why companies do this, because there's possibly a head version of this. And then they just take the chassis, which of course is knobs, and then stuff in the back, and they flip it up. I would say, why don't you have the controls in the front, Blackstar, and that way I can plug in the back, or redesign the freaking PCB. And I bitched about that when I reviewed the Engel Iron Ball combo. And Engel went ahead and redesigned the PCB because they said, oh, it seems to be very annoying. And it is. I do not on a stage want to do this right before the gig because I need to plug in my effects loop and my DI out and all that stuff. That shit's rather annoying. It's all there, feature-wise, fully loaded, but rather annoying. I cannot, which I would usually do in this video, show you the software to pick your cab, the included cab rig, out, because I don't have the updated Architect software, which I would need, but it is a day before release, and the new Architect software comes out tomorrow, and they sent me a preview, but I have trouble installing it. So, no biggie. Now there are 3 cabs included, and we're gonna switch them around. The speaker is called a Blackstar 50. That tells me nothing about who makes it or what that is or what it could sound like, but it doesn't matter because we have an SM57 right there, smack almost in the center, but a little bit off center, and a Sennheiser MKIII right there, which I will try to get you a good phase-aligned sound of the cab. My first impression of the cab, especially for cleans, is it sounds amazing. It is spanky, it's direct, it sounds good for the drive sound as well. I think this is better than what they have in their 212. It's a great sounding speaker. What comes out of the cab rig is different. The cab rig it's not the best direct speaker simulation on the market, but you can get pretty cool sounds out of it. Let's talk about pretty cool sounds. Let's go into a song. 7 guitar tracks of varying drives, levels, and cleans that are recorded with the HT20 and the use of a Joshua from MXR in the effects loop for some delay, and that's all that you're hearing. That amp, the direct out, and some delay in the effects loop. So let's listen to Locked In from Campaign Like Clockwork. being said, my setup includes a pedal board on the floor, which we might employ if we're going to kick in some Tube Screamer or a Klon, because you probably want to know how good is it as a pedal platform. What you can't see is there's a 2290p from TC Electronic. No, you can't see that. It's right over here. It's over. You can't see it. It's right here on the floor. That is in the effects loop for some delays. Let's get the included reverb down a bit. So there isn't much we can do for the clean. We're going to keep it at noon right now, everything at noon, and we're going to play it. There we go. Nick Johnston, Schecter, signature. What am I doing? Ah, that's what I'm doing. It was the wrong string. Let's get the reverb back in a bit. Those cleans are amazing with that speaker. Put the delay in, so the effect loop works. It's great. It's spanky. It's responsive. It's a beautiful clean. Let's fiddle with the tone. That's too much top end already there. Let's go into my gripe with the volume, and we're gonna bitch about that continuously. So the volume on the clean is pushing it, and that's also kind of then giving you more gain, which is great. So to really dial in your tone, you want to fiddle with the volume as if it's a gain control. The problem is, this is also the output for the direct, meaning what comes out of the XLR, the cab rig, is governed not by the master. So if you have you'd have the master all the way down to only hear the cab rig sounds, but this is your output volume for the cab rig. On the overdrive, it doesn't matter. You set up your gain here and then the output right there. But for the clean, when I was recording, I was continuously getting clipping in my signal. And I can show you that clipping. Now, of course, I assume that in the software, I can take the output level down, then crank up the gain on the amp, but I didn't have access to the software. And do you continuously want to go to the software to adjust your output level? So there isn't an output level control in the back of the amp or anywhere on top, like some of the competition is doing when they have a direct out. I find that hard to work with because I'm getting clipping and I have no way to fix it other than back off my gain, which I don't want to do because it's the sound I want, or go into the software. And you might not have that available wherever you're recording with it. It's possible. So let's go into this right now. This is what I'm getting with the direct out. That's not amp clipping, that's digital clipping. Digital clipping, and you don't want it. It's not desirable, okay? So let's go back to the mics. In general, you can't really... I mean, you saw me going to the master. This needs a separate volume control. That's all I'm saying, really. Let's go to voice 2. Version 2 is less clean, more mid-pushed, and definitely if you're pushing it with humbuckers, as we will, more for the gainy stuff. Let's do it right now while we still have the Strat on the lap. We're going to take this setting and we're going to go and put a tube screamer in front of it. You would only need that for the flavor, because the amp has all the gain you possibly ever want. Let's go to the Archer, which is a clone type pedal. It'll do the thing it's supposed to do. Let's go to drive. With the Strats, it's a little bit gnarly, isn't it? So. I literally don't know what I'm doing, I'm just making noise. And we'll quickly circle back to the clean channel. Thicker, bigger, more input, therefore more volume. Back off the master a bit. But beautiful, really well done, Blackstar. There is, of course, a foot switch input to switch channels and voice. I have to put in the description whether or not that's included, because I don't know. It might still be in the box. I might not have taken it out. Maybe you saw it in the beginning for the unboxing. I don't know. It's not here. I can tell you that. So with the Les Paul, which is a Heritage H150, this is already kick-ass. Let's push that with a tube screamer and see what happens. I can't fault it tonally. I really can't. Let's go to the second channel. The ISF has little effect. It definitely doesn't give you American and British tones. It's, you know, a slightly different kind of EQ. Now, I love that there's a lot of gain already, but it's defined, it's playable, it's not too thick, it's not too mushy, it's not too saggy. It's just nice. So, more mid-cut, more top-end coming in. New strings on this guitar. Yeah, that's a pretty damn redonkulous sound. Holy fuckballs, as I might say. Let's go to... Damn, that sounds good. Let's go to the DI out. First cap, which I think is really made for clean. Bring the reverb back and the delay back. I really like that cap. It works for cleans, and if I put the tube screamer on, of course. So I would like to do what I did earlier and give you that really cool classic rock sound by pushing the clean, but I cannot because I'll get this. And there is no way on the amp to adjust that. There might be in the software, but do you really want to pull out your laptop and USB cables for that? Come on, that needs obviously a switch. Or knob. So let's go to that cap with some drive on the second channel. Okay, switching now in the back to the second cap. Back to the first one. Second one. More of a mid push there. Okay, and I'll turn the delay off. We're gonna go to the third cap. The cap 2 and 3 kind of sound like this. The speaker, RCF 110, great PA speaker, is right in front of me, and it feels like I'm looking for the amp. Where's my amp? It's somewhere over there. Okay. The first one with cleans, it's right here. So, yeah, the drawback of the cab rig software and system is you cannot use your own IRs. So if you think you can, you cannot. There are a bunch of cabs included. So you can pick different mics, but it's all their cabs, whatever is included. You can pick how much room you want. There's EQ, of course, so you can very likely tweak it and make it more top-endy. But honestly, and you know, obviously I've just, while I'm saying this, shown you some clips of that. But realistically, and Blackstar knows that I'm saying this, they know that I'm thinking this, it is not among the premier solutions on the market. The 2-notes Torpedo is a better solution. There's more you can do in the software, there's more cabs available, and you can load your own IRs. Something like the Astro 20 from Soldano. Okay, clocks in at $2,200, but it has an IR loader. None more than that, only IRs. So maybe the Cabric software is more flexible in terms of moving the mics and doing stuff like this. It's up to you, but if you have your favorite IR, that is not the solution. Now, then we have two notes embedded like the rev stuff, blah, blah, blah. So there are other solutions out there. If you already have a load box or an aux stomp or Engel cap loader, something where you have your favorite caps already, then that's not a big drawback. The sounds are there. The speaker sound is freaking there. Whatever a Blackstar 50 is good. I really like it. So really, my major gripes are with the Cabric software and the fact that on the clean channel you cannot adjust the volume independently of the gain, and recording with it works. Playing a gig with it works. And actually in the 100 watt version, I liked all three settings. I don't know if they were different, I have no idea, but I really liked it. So the Cabric software can get you the results, but it is a bit more of a pain in the ass in fiddling and twiddling with the amp to get to where you want to go compared to the competition. That's my honest opinion. Blackstar knows that. That shouldn't distract from the fact, that rhymes, that this amp as a 112 tube combo has phenomenal cleans, great edge of breakup sounds, is a good pedal platform, and in the Overdrive channel can go to stellar leads with a lot of gain, and then you flick the voice switch and you have your brutal sound as well. So in terms of range for a 20 watt combo, this kills. So let's look at the DI stuff as a nice add-on that's also there, but you're not paying for it. You're paying for a great sounding 112 combo. Oh, let's look at one more thing, the 2 watt mode, just to get you a volume difference through YouTube. It's kind of pointless, but still we'll do it. So get this up. Quite noticeable difference right here. For you, I don't know. I have another problem with this amp, which is its price. And I've been dragging that around with me for quite a while now, thinking about it. And maybe I'm extremely unfair, but I think my problem with it is Blackstar itself, and they made a crucial mistake. They made the 100 watt stage, which is a 100 watt tube head, Cabric out, no MIDI, boo, comes with a foot switch, I think, but it's got 3 channels, each channel having 2 different voicings, which technically makes it 6 channels, all of them amazing sounding. You can get the dirty Marshall Hendricks sounds out of it, the spanky strats, the beautiful cleans, the brutal 7-string extended range stuff. It can do everything, and it's technically in most stores is around $1,000. And then I think in the US it is. And then maybe with tax here, it's maybe like, $1,100-1,200. But that amp is too cheap. Now I compare this to the 100 watt behemoth, and maybe that's not fair. Okay. So you look at it and you're like, well, it's a 20 watt amp. Can that gig? I don't know. It only has 2 channels. It's got a shared EQ, blah, blah, blah. Because it's around $900 based on what I know. So I talked to Blackstar, I talked to the distributor, I talked to the store, and they all have a little bit conflicting information of what the price of this should be, and it comes out tomorrow, so I can't look it up. So Blackstar says it should be 900, whatever. I think it's going to clock in at 870, whatever. I think that is what the store told me ahead of time. And my first reaction was, that's too much, because HT20 MKIII was $599, but it also only had a DI out and not the Cabric out, which of course requires software, USB. By the way, it's probably also a USB audio interface. Who cares? It's an amp. Do you want an audio interface in your amp? I don't know, but it probably can do that. So, I don't know. Look it up. What do I know? Wait, I should know. Yeah, don't get on my case. But, price point. Let's call it $850. And my thinking is that's too much. For 2 reasons. Because Mark II was $599, So price went up. And the 100 watt version, 100 watt version is $1,000. So if the 100 watt version is $1,000, why should I pay $850 for the 20 watt, 2 channels less, 112 combo? Yeah, okay, I get it. It's a combo. It's got a speaker and a little bit more wood. But that makes it feel expensive because the 100 watt version is so damn good and affordable. So am I doing this a disservice by saying it's too expensive? Because honestly, if I had a 20 watt Fender Blackface here, deluxe reverb, I have one, great amp. What is that, 1,500? I'm not going to say that's too expensive. Doesn't even have a DI out, doesn't even have drive sounds. Am I unfair to this? If I'm not criticizing the price of the deluxe reverb and I'm saying this is too expensive, that's stupid, right? This has more to offer. What about the D25 from Rev? They reduced the price. It's now $2,000. It's got 2 notes embedded, but honestly, it's a clean channel. It's made in Canada. I think this is made in Asia. Yeah, but it costs over $1,000 more than this, and it can do less. It's a clean channel, and then a push clean, and it's a pedal platform, and then it's got the 2 notes embedded. So if I'm not really coming down hard on the prices of a deluxe reverb and that other amp and then other amps from other brands, why would I feel that the 20 watt HT20 MKIII is too expensive? I have that feeling. But I only have that feeling because of Blackstar's own pricing architecture of making, or right now having, the Mark II in the market for $599, which makes this comparatively more expensive, and a 100 watt amp that, if you ask me, should be $1,500 easily and would still be highly recommended at that price. After dragging this decision around with me for you guys to tell you, is it too expensive or is it not too expensive? I still don't really have an answer. All I can tell you is, let's say it's $850. You get a DI out, which works. You can use it live. It's okay. It's not the greatest on the market, but it's okay and it's included. It comes with some caveats like you might drive it too hard when you're pushing clean. Okay, it's compromised. But the clean is amazing. The clean, when pushed, is amazing. Then you have to use master volume to adjust, but then you can, because the Overdrive has its separate volume, so you can adjust those too. I would beg Blackstar to give the clean channel also a separate volume instead of just volume, which honestly I use as gain. Maybe it's my fault. It's got an effective EQ. ISF is there. Take it or leave it. The reverb works. The effect loop works. The sound, you can use it as a bedroom practice thing with 2 watts. Tonally, the cleans are spanky. They are so clean. The speaker beautifully transports that sound. It's a good amp. And if I was gigging at $850, I'm not super massively protective of it, like some other, boutique-y things. It's a great tool. Doesn't have corners on it, and I'm noticing that now. I mean, look, it looks nice, but just makes it a little bit less giggy. You'll bump that into shit. Beautiful, I'm gonna say fake leather handle or real leather handle. I don't know, we'd have to ask the cow. This is how much it is, okay? The range of sounds is ridiculous. I'm gonna say there's nothing you can't do with this. And I like that it's always defined. It's never thick, too thick. It's never too saggy, too spongy. It's always, the attack is always there. A really beautiful attack. And that's probably also due to the Blackstar 50 speaker, whatever that is. Okay, I've rambled on for quite a while. I'm so sorry. But I want to give you my best opinion on what's there. Even though the distributor is paying me to do this, they know I'm reviewing it. I've had the Cabric discussions with Blackstar. They know what I think. These are my findings about this amp and about the pricing. You figure it out. Tonally, I can't fault it. I really can't. And I think Blackstar's just in its own way by making the bigger, more channel amp too close in price to this. Or maybe the market's doing that. Maybe they're not doing it. Who knows? Now you know what I think. HT20 Mark III is here to stay, and it's pretty damn good. Links below. Please use them. That helps. To Anderton's, Sweetwater, and Thomann. If you want to buy that amp or anything else, use one of my links. They're right in the description. And then buy whatever. Buy a pair of socks. Don't care. That helps me. And almost at the end.